cut this bit out. I've got no honey from my lips right now.
No. Do you need a drink? Do you need some hot tea?
No, I mean I've got some Kool-Aid. Well, it's not Kool-Aid. It's Crystal Light.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. Normal water is garbage, so I figured let's make it taste like soda. No, I know you do. It's not really garbage. I just, I need a little flavor party in my mouth.
A is for Alcoholic is a program about recovery. My name is John, and I'm an alcoholic.
And my name is Jerry, and I'm an alcoholic.
Join us as we go through the alphabet of alcoholism, one letter at a time.
Speaking of parties, our sponsors today are, as always, the Green Camel Press, greencamelpress.com. We do cartoons, we do comics, we do labels, we do t-shirts. Go check us out at greencamelpress.com. We are a design firm with an old school aesthetic in a digital age. Me and my partner do illustrations and fun little movies and all kinds of cool stuff. So go check us out. Yeah. Also, if you haven't checked out our sibling podcast, Gluten is Not Your Problem, for those of you who are into funny, foodie talk, there's some cool stuff on there. We discussed whether or not a hot dog was a sandwich. I think that's the latest one. Did you listen to that one yet?
Not yet. I'm amazed that he's stuck around for so long. At some point, I thought he'd be like, I've had enough of this foolishness. I'm leaving. Because that seems to me more like... Actually, he wouldn't say foolishness. He'd say tomfoolery. I've had enough of this tomfoolery, John. I don't mean to be persnickety.
But I have to go. I have to make my egress.
To go. Mm-hmm. I have there's a Monte Cristo out there somewhere.
So we talked about Monte Cristos, and then I asked him. I said, so we talked for like 20 minutes about sandwiches, but whether or not a hot dog was a sandwich, which I know sounds ridiculous, but because it is. And then I said, do you think that cereal is a soup? And he broke it down for me. First he said, no, absolutely not. But he said, but he goes into how, if you want to make cereal a soup, he gives you these step-by-step instructions.
All right, so I got to listen to this because you mentioned this last week too, and it seems to have impressed upon you very much. You're like, he can make soup out of cereal, Jerry. This dude's a fucking genius. And we've just had this hidden gem in our lives forever.
All along. Please go buy a t-shirt at greencamelpress.com and go listen to Gluten is Not Your Problem on Spotify, Apple podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever.
Maybe you find them on the street. Yeah, SoundCloud.
Find them on the street. Yeah, one of the questions was, how do I find your podcast?
Yes, so speaking of our topic today, is we're already back at Q, and Q is our Q&A. And our Q&A episode, and we gathered questions from Instagram mostly. I wanted to say, I didn't hear from anybody on Facebook, so I don't know if you people are not out there on the Facebook page, but please go there and like, and the YouTube page as well. I didn't hear anything from anybody on the YouTube page, so please go like and subscribe. Most of the questions came on Jerry's personal Instagram page, and if I was the kind of guy who was resentful or, feeling like I did all this work and nobody sent me any questions, and most of them all came to Jerry's personal Instagram page, I might be upset about that. I might harbor some resentment, but
sounds like you are a little bit. Something to say in this.
Like all this hard work I've put into this, and nobody wants to. But I'm not that kind of guy. Or I should say I had my moment and I thought about it.
You need to post more selfies on the A is for Alcoholic Instagram and get a dog. Post more pictures. People love that.
Yeah.
I'll get like 100 and some likes, which is fairly low level compared to other people, but who cares? It's all bullshit.
Right.
But I'll get, like 3 times as many likes for a picture of fucking Coco, and I'll post up something I spent hours drawing, and it'll just like a third of that. Like, just people are like, yeah, nice drawn, funny man, where's the dog?
Maybe you should bring the dog to the tattoo shop, so every time you get him in the shot with the tattoo,
just have him licking the tattoo.
Excuse me.
It just builds up the natural immunity, man.
Does it? Yeah.
Sure, why not? I trust me, I'm a professional.
So we gathered some Q&A, some Q's, and we're going to give you some A's.
Yeah, we're going to put our A's in your Q's.
Yes, from our listeners. And, we're not clinical certified psychologists or alcohologists or anything like that. So
Right.
I would
And
suggest.
I'm not really gonna, not to interrupt, but when we answer, I'm just gonna kind of try to keep it anonymous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Absolutely. So we don't need to tell anybody's. But
Put you on blast.
no, I don't want to put anybody on blast. Do you want to? Does it
Say
sound
that,
funny?
like-
I
Yeah,
sound
you
like
sound
someone's
like-
dad.
You sound like someone's principal. You sound like a principal,
Well,
like
I don't want to put anybody on blast here,
blast.
kids.
But there was marijuana and an airplane bottle of vodka in your backpack.
Tyler.
Tyler.
So do you want to start? You got a couple of them. Do you want to start with one of the big ones that we got from our friend and listener?
Yeah, I'll start with let's start with this. This one's real meaty. It's got a lot of meat. I don't know if I should break it down into separate ones, but I'll start with the first part of the question, which is, what strategies have you found in understanding what your boundaries or triggers are in your sobriety, and how do you maintain your needs and boundaries, of being sober while respecting the freedom of choice for others to have drinks or to drink? So
Okay.
That's the first part of it. So, I think what the strategies I found in understanding what my boundaries or triggers, because the triggers and boundaries are two separate things, I think. And so in early recovery, I was triggered quite often, and I think the strategy honestly, might be counterproductive, but the strategy I really employed the most was just naked fear. Which is really funny because in the 12-step, and just kind of in general, the idea is to not hold on to fear. But I found that naked fear was really useful for me, and for me personally in the beginning. It was the fear of the repercussions of my actions. And I know I've circled this a few times in the podcast, but I had to realize where the tape was going to play, like how the tape was going to play forward. Like if I were to drink, I already knew everything that came with it. It just wasn't one thing. There was a bunch of shit in that package,
I think there's I agree with you. I mean, I did the same thing. I talk about it where I'd stay in my room. So I'd go to work and then I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't do anything, and I would stay in my room because
Right.
I was scared about even going to the store and maybe picking something up and having that hemming and hawing moment where should I or shouldn't I? And so I just
Right.
wouldn't go anywhere that I didn't need to be at all. And I think that
Word.
I think in the beginning, I mean, let me just say this. I lived with a lot of fear. I was no stranger to living with fear when I
Yeah.
was drinking. And in that moment where I decided not to anymore was terrifying as well. So
Yeah, dude.
I feel like that fear was a good catalyst for me to eventually get into the guts, the gears of trying to figure out how not to drink every single
Yeah.
day. So if that's what it takes for that moment, it didn't last forever. It was just like, okay, I'm scared. I'm going to stay away from any friends or family or places that are gonna,
Yeah.
and I was more alone in that time. I didn't have a lot of drinking buddies per se, but
Yeah, neither did. Well, no, yes and no, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically, fear and isolation.
but I think other
But
strategies.
I would say they're not the healthiest of strategies, though. But I mean, there's no atheist in a foxhole, right? Like anything that works in the beginning to keep you from,
well,
to
and
keep you. Seems to be helpful, unless that thing is meth or something. Don't do that.
don't do that. But I think also boundaries and triggers. So in the beginning, there's a lot of triggers. I don't feel like I have too many triggers. I can't think of any triggers that I have now. There's nothing that really, makes me. There are things that make me sad or longing for my youth when I was able to be so capricious. But
Yeah.
I think triggers turn into boundaries for me. Right? So the things that used to freak me out or the things that would scare me, I go, that's just not what I do. Like, I don't go into a place unless I have business being there. So I don't just wander into a bar.
Yeah.
Right? I set my boundaries up with, I don't tolerate people who are overly intoxicated. Certainly not in my house. And certainly when I'm out, I'm very clear and vocal about the what I will accept and the kind of behavior I'll accept. I mean, even when
yeah.
I was talking with somebody and like, hey, we were going to meet up, and I texted and I was like, so how much have you been drinking? I know you've been out to dinner. I said, are you drunk? Because I don't want to hang. I mean, basically, I just need to know
Yeah.
what kind of mess I'm getting
Be
into.
hanging out with your drunk ass right now.
So
I love you, but your drunk ass is a little too much for me.
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny because I didn't have my boundaries, and I don't really necessarily. I have some boundaries now, I guess. My boundaries are more out of personal respect. Like, I'm not gonna be really open to you being like, have a drink, come on, But people never do that to me anyway. And if you knew me in my personal life, I'm pretty good at shutting that kind of shit down. I'd just call a fucker out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the beginning, actually the first few years, my big boundary was just like, don't bring Jim Beam in my house. That was it. Don't bring Evan Williams or Jim Beam because those were the two motherfuckers, like beer, whatever. You want to drink beer, that's fine. Like you want to drink wine, I don't care. Vodka, I don't care. Gross whiskey, Jack Daniels, all that shit's gross. I'm not drinking that. But the bourbons, like those two especially, I remember my wife came home with a big bag of these little airplane bottles of booze a friend gave her. And there was a bottle of Jim Beam in there, and I had like over 18 months at that point, and she was like going through the bag and lining them all up, to see what her little takeaway home was. And I was just like, yo, dude, like, I don't know why, but that just makes me feel really itchy. Like, can we get rid of that one? And she's all, yeah, sure, and just tossed it. It was no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is those airplane bottles lasted her like months. Months. Crazy
Mm-hmm.
woman. Yeah, it makes no sense. But so my boundaries in the beginning were just like, don't push me personally. Like, it's not fun. It's not funny to me. I don't think it's cute. Like, I don't, I'm not going to acquiesce and be like, oh, fuck yeah, and have a shot. And then all of a sudden I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a pair of oversized sunglasses and I'm the coolest fucking guy in the room. Like, it doesn't work out that way,
Mm-hmm. How do you maintain?
Yeah.
How do you maintain those boundaries? That's the second part, while respecting the freedom of choice of others to drink.
Well, I mean, that goes without being said, right? I'm not going to be a fucking dick to you if you're drinking. If you're not going to be a dick to me if I'm not drinking. So we're cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, and it's not even a conscious maintenance anymore. I'm around it 24/7. I will always be around alcohol. There's no way that I will not be around alcohol unless I have some major life change and I live in a year on a fucking mountain and never speak to anybody again. Alcohol will always be a constant presence in my life in one form or another.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that I'm in recovery and I have a podcast where we talk about alcohol. You know what I mean? Like, and coping with alcohol. Like, there's no way that the concept of that will ever not be in my life in this society. So I have to respect it. I can respect it to an extent. Don't be a sloppy fucking mess.
Yeah.
Around me. You want to be a sloppy mess? You have every right to do that in your own time. But if you're in my zone, I'm just gonna bounce. I'm gonna be like late.
If I have to go to a function with work people or something like that,
Yeah.
I go early and I always leave early, man. I think you
Right.
said it. You just got to get used to leaving early.
And I stole that from Leanne and Jerry. That's like my mom and dad's best advice. Not the best they've ever given me, but that was really valuable advice to me. It was go early, leave early. My mom always says I leave around the time people start repeating themselves and we're out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's great advice. And so, and I have to honestly understand that, like, I may have to just go it alone and be a rogue and be like, yo, Megan, you want to take a cab home? Here's some cash, but I got to bounce. Like, I can't deal with this. This is too much. And
Yeah.
she understands that. She usually is cool with it. She's like, let's go then. I don't need to be around here anyway.
Yeah. I think too, if you've got a work function or if you're meeting friends for drinks, again, you can go. I mean, once I've had my third club soda, I usually have to pee, and there's not much more to discuss.
Right.
In the meeting, you know what I mean?
There really isn't. Yeah. You're like, it's pee time. I got to go.
I just don't see it. And as far as other people drinking, I've only had it happen a couple of times where people are more sensitive about me not drinking than I am about them drinking. So they're like, is it okay if I get a glass of wine? I was like, you can have as much as you want.
You're like, you're in Napa, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you go for it, please. I will gladly. You need a designated driver? I'll show you all this beautiful countryside or whatever. So I find that if I felt like I was gonna drink, I wouldn't join people who were drinking, But
Right.
at this stage, yeah, I just would stay. I would avoid those things. I would,
Yeah.
and people who are my friends, I would hope would say, sure, well, let's meet for breakfast, or let's meet early in the day before all this shit starts happening. If
Right.
that's what you're into. So I just don't put myself in those situations. I mean, that's how I would maintain those needs of staying sober, is
That's
just
a great answer.
you have
Yeah.
to play, and like you said, play it through. So if I go and if I'm stuck somewhere, and then now I'm anxious, and now I'm uncomfortable, and now I'm irritable and discontent, and well, I guess I'm stuck here, I might as well get a drink. And in the day of Uber and Lyft and stuff, you're never really stuck anywhere,
Right.
but
You're not. No. Mm-mm.
but have a clear exit plan if you're going to be out and about. I mean, I think that has something to do with it. And also, there's no reason to be judgmental of other people who can drink. I know you've said that you felt a lot of resentment in the beginning, but
Yeah, but I was fucking super crazy in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still crazy, just less. You know what I mean? Like I was really emotionally erratic in the beginning, so I was really entitled and looking for someone to blame. Like that was it, and it was. But yes, in the beginning, I absolutely would resent people, and I had to work that out. That's a Jerry problem. That's a me problem. That's got nothing to do with them.
it's a human problem,
Word.
How has saying no to drinking transformed your thinking about what you say no to in general?
I'm glad you got to that one. That one's
Do you feel
interesting
your
too,
thinking
right?
has changed?
Yes.
You want to take that one?
No, you take it first.
So I think how has my thinking changed? I think it's easier. I'm a very amenable. It's easier to say no now. I'm a very amenable person. I'm always wanting to make sure that everybody that I'm around is comfortable. Oftentimes to my own detriment, like if I can just make sure that everybody's happy, and that's just my nature as a person, to try and make others happy. And so when it comes to something like alcohol, this is non-negotiable for me anymore
Yeah.
for the rest of my life. I cannot drink. I will not drink. I don't have to drink. I think that's also that's an important definer, is that I don't have to anymore. I used to have to. I would have to every day. And so when it comes time to saying no to things I don't want to do, I'm much more clear in my head now that I'm not drinking, but I'm also very clear about what I want and what I don't want. And when something comes up and it's not 100% yes, then I go, well, that's a no. And every time that I don't follow through with that no, every time that I think, oh, well, maybe, it ends up being a disaster. So
Yeah.
I have learned over years of repetition that it's okay to say no. It's okay to have those boundaries, and that they are there for a reason, that you
Yeah.
need them, because there's a whole nother world that's opening up to you when you get sober. And if you don't create those boundaries to keep the alcohol and the alcoholic behavior out, excuse me, you won't have opportunity to go through those open doors to the other stuff that's on the other side.
Right. Yeah, it's a dampener. Mm-hmm. I saying no to drinking, how has it transformed what I think about saying no to things in general, just in like a really pragmatic way? Like me saying no to drinking and then being able to not drink for the period of time that I have not had alcohol has been a lesson to me that I can say no to other things in my life that are causing me harm or doing me, you know what I mean, doing me in a negative way. And I've always used quitting drinking as the watermark. So I quit smoking, like, and yeah, I use the vaporizer, but I mean, I quit like smoking cigarettes, right? So I still have a dependence to nicotine, but that cigarette was hard to quit. Like I changed my diet and the way I ate, because in my mind I thought, well, if I can quit drinking, then I can count my calories. I can be aware of what I'm doing. I can have a discipline because I'm already working a discipline. Now I'm just working a different type of program with a different aspect of my life. I felt like saying no all these years to it, because at this point we're not even at saying no. My whole personality isn't like I'm just hand up no. It's just I just don't, But it's empowered me a lot. It really has. It really has empowered me quite a bit. It's shown me like I've seen the depths of how sad I can get and how hard it can get, and now I've seen like what I'm capable of. you know. And can I be capable of more? Maybe, I don't know. But where I'm at now in my life, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. You just did that. I just hiked a fucking butte. A butte? I rebuke the butte. But I just like hiked Skinner's Butte here in Eugene, and that's nothing to most people, but to me, like to go out in nature and walk around and walk up a hill, like I don't do that. That is not a Jerry Wagner thing.
The
That's
answer is
not my
yes,
jam.
Jerry. You are capable. You will be capable.
Absolutely. Do you know what I'm saying? So it has transformed my thinking, and my thinking has absolutely changed as well. Like the way I perceive things now with this clearer head, and that knowledge of my strength has really changed the way I think about a lot of things. Now I can see like my actions and what I do that's negative and what I do that's positive. It's you know, I hate to be the cheerleader for it, but I'm also happy to be the cheerleader for it. But it's changed everything. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's keep doing this because this is working. You know, this is really working. So, what do I do with that? I don't know. I'll hike the butte some more. I'll see y'all in the butte, motherfuckers. Watch.
Do it.
I'll be up there.
I am a huge champion of going out for
hiking.
walks and
I know, I
hiking
love it.
and nature. If you check out my Instagram, I often will put, and then, you know, I guess I can plug it here, but Sonic John 000.
Yeah, follow John on Instagram because his fucking stories are delight. John loves animals. You need a farm. Your Instagram stories of you hiking, like they bring me joy. Like mostly I look at Instagram and I feel like upset because Instagram is real garbage, dude. And I have to use it. It's unavoidable. I have to use it for work. But your shit like makes me happy. I'm like, look at that cat. Is that the same cat or is that a different cat?
Dude, I don't know sometimes.
I don't know.
I come across, like, I was staring at this cow, and I was like, why is this cow kind of staring back at me so close? And then I realized her calf was right there, and I was like, I'm not here to fuck with things. Like, I'm just taking a picture. And
you just thought you were sharing a Zen moment with an animal and realized, no, it's just like, don't never talk to me or my son again. You know?
Exactly. Or my son's son or my son's son's son.
Yeah.
So I highly suggest nature. Next one. How do you navigate friendship breakups in small sobriety circles? So these are people that have already, everyone's
specific. Yeah.
Well, I have a thought on this one.
Yeah.
And my thought is, when we are drinking, it is easy to make friends because we go, oh, you drink, I drink. That's all we really need, right?
Bam! We just became best friends.
We just became best friends, right? So when you get sober, you immediately hear about somebody else who gets sober, and you think we're connected, right? But I have found that I still don't get along with everybody. I don't think I'm meant to get along with everybody. People are not meant to get along with everybody. And so there are things that you are going to find about people. There are other issues that people are going to have. So whether or not they're still drunk doesn't mean that they're not shitty in other ways. There's just there's a general it could just be some sort of general shittiness, or people make bad decisions, or people make mistakes, or people are unwilling to be in relationships and friendships that are, they're not available for it yet, whether or not they're sober or not. So
right.
I think that how do you navigate it? Well, if the friends have broken up and you're friends with some, I mean, just in the same way that you would if you were well, not the same way that you would if you were drinking, but just knowing, I just know that I'm not meant to be friends with every single sober person in the world. That does not immediately make you close to me or a kindred spirit. Now, I do understand your struggle, and if there's some way I can help you in that aspect, yes, if we can discuss it, if you need help to not drink, that I would love to discuss. But as far as you and I hanging out, getting coffee, going to see Endgame, it's not going to happen. I'm not interested in that, and there's no, so I don't know about the breakup. I don't know all the stories, the details,
the bloody deets.
I don't know those, but I mean,
right.
How do you deal with friend breakups as it is? I mean, try not to take sides.
Right. I think also part of the question is small sobriety circles, right? Like if you're in a small recovery community and you got to go to your home group every day, and that person that you're no longer friends with is in that home group, how do you navigate that? And it's a difficult question because I haven't really had any friendship breakups because I don't really have a lot of friends in recovery, and that's mostly because of me. I'm like really socially fucking awkward. In all honesty, like I want to like make friends with everybody and sit down, hang out, and drink coffee and eat ribs and stuff or whatever they do.
Coffee
or
and
whatever
ribs.
we do. Yeah, right. So, but for me, I feel like in a small recovery community, it's always best that if you're with this person and you have so much abrasion between each other, it may be best to just try to find another group.
It's kind of like Fight Club. You go to these meetings on these days, and Marla goes to the meetings, and Jack goes to the other meetings.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that may be the best just for your mental health in that period of time. Now, I mean, I feel like the idea behind, not the idea, but one of the best parts about being in recovery is being able to navigate through life without causing too many ripples.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's a really specific question. You're like my only friend, you and the guys I work with. And those guys, none of those guys are really in recovery. I mean, some, a couple maybe, but,
I think, well, I think the idea of going to a different meeting, because here's the thing too with the meetings is there's nothing wrong with trying a new one, because you never know what you might find, and you might find different people, and maybe it's time to move on. We all grow and we all change, and it might be good. I mean, it might be, it might be a sign that it's time for you to move on. You know, you could look at it that way and see what other opportunities have for you at the next one down the road, or the Thursday meeting instead of the Monday meeting, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I just don't think.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I just don't think sobriety equals, kindred spirit all the time.
Word. Yeah. And I would say just approach it with some tenderness. Try a little tenderness, like try to approach it with just being gentle and being really aware of the situation. And you may have to be the person who makes the sacrifice for the betterment of everybody, or even for the betterment of yourself. How about that?
Yeah.
I just did like the hand, like the explanation hand, like for the, nobody can see it, but it's like a snake striking.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like when Gordon Ramsay talks about
Yeah, exactly. I'm Gordon Ramsay in my little office up here, but it's for the betterment of just yourself, for your own well-being. You may have to avoid this person. It doesn't have to be permanent. Things change. People even out. Sometimes I hate people and then love them a week later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen often, but it happens sometimes.
This person also asked, how do I find your podcast on my stupid Android phone? SOS. And let me just say, as an Apple person, I don't think your Android phone is stupid. I don't take sides in that particular thing.
And I wish I had an Android.
But I have just the answer. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can find that on Android, Apple, or Cricket, Nokia, Linux. Did I say Cricket? I said Cricket.
Yeah, you said Linux, but I think it's Linux.
Linux.
Yeah. Linux.
But YouTube,
Linux,
Spotify. There's all kind. I think it's on Google Play too. So. But
yes,
go subscribe to the YouTube channel.
And we're still on SoundCloud too, right?
SoundCloud, yes. You can.
Hell yeah, we're getting our fucking faces tattooed. I won't eat Xanax, but I'll eat a shitload of Tic Tacs.
Don't ever. If I ask you to tattoo my face, Jerry, just don't do it.
All right, I'll absolutely do it though.
Yeah. What's the next one you got?
So I got one that was it's kind of program related, but I'm curious about it because I have a weird answer to it.
Okay.
And it was, how difficult was your 4-step? I'm approaching my 4-step, and it's intimidating.
Well, for those people who don't know, a 4-step is basically you are taking an inventory of
personal inventory of,
and it's an inventory. The way that it was described to me, it's not just I need you to write down all the bad shit you've ever done in your life. Although, when you go doing this personal inventory, that's what comes out. When you think about all of the things that you are resentful toward, then you start to see the actions that were that came from the actions and the habits and the behaviors that came from those resentments. So if you were a liar and a cheater and a thief, and you did all these horrible things to all these people, and you start to go, well, why did I want to steal that? Well, I was resentful toward my boss because I didn't make enough money, or I was resentful toward my husband or my wife, or I was resentful toward the bank, or I was resentful toward my mortgage, and for whatever reason, And so you start to realize not just I want you to tell me all the reasons you're a terrible person. Write them down for me. It's about finding the core, for me, about finding the core reasoning for my behavior. Mm-hmm. So I think that can be intimidating, not because it's like this horrible homework assignment, but change is difficult, and people don't like to change. And this is where, I've always said that there's this certain, like, where pain meets change, that's where the growth, that corner is where growth happens. When the pain hits the change, then you're able to grow. And so I think that's what the thing with the fourth step is. Not, don't think of it as all the bad shit you've ever done. Think about it as,
it's not your confession.
No.
No.
We're just trying to get to the root of why you behave that you have behaved in the way that you have in the past.
Right. I look at it like, so it took me 3 fucking years to do my 4th step. And like, I'm like for a little over 4.5 years sober right now. And I officially am still in the middle of like a 5th step. But at this point, I took me so long to do the damn 4th step that I just do them in my head now. I don't really write them down very often. But what I found valuable in it was this pattern of behavior. Eventually, I felt like Nicolas Cage in National Treasure, dude. I just started seeing the patterns, these Illuminati patterns that made me fuck things up all the time, I like that you're laughing at that one because you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I do, but I've never seen the movie. But I
No, neither have I. That's the funny part. But I know the plot enough, like he finds the patterns, man. And that's, I found these patterns of these things that my motivations for my resentments, they're based in fear or jealousy. And even jealousy was too complex. I had to break that down into why I was jealous. What do I have to stand to lose? What am I afraid of losing? What am I angry about? And I see these patterns and I go, oh, fuck, that's why I drink. Right? That's that common question we hear a lot. I've heard a lot. You've heard a lot. You've asked me that. I've asked my wife that. Why do I drink? Why do I drink? And that's what that 4th step is. It's kind of your motivator, like what motivates you not only to drink, but to just kind of do these repetitive negative actions that kind of fuck your world up a little bit, fuck your world up a lot sometimes. So for me, it took me a long time to do because I hate homework and I'm lazy. And I was like really scared that it was like this long list of confessions. And I haven't done that much bad shit. I've done pretty much average run-of-the-mill bad shit. I never really robbed anybody too much or anything, so I mean, I just had to contend with all that and kind of get down and wrestle with it. It'll be all right. I feel like I can't guarantee that you'll feel better afterwards, but I bet you will a little bit. I bet you once you start seeing it, then you see your motivator and you can recognize it coming.
And then you can change your behavior.
Word. It's exactly what it is.
And then once
you recognize it,
when I changed my behavior, then my days got better, and people, the people I interacted with, they were nicer and kinder to me, and that's when it just got better and better. So,
right.
And to go to the next question, which, does it get better?
Yeah.
The answer,
fuck yeah.
The simple answer is yes. I mean,
I wouldn't be, if it didn't get better, I wouldn't be sitting here doing this fucking podcast every Monday night, sitting here in this office being like, you should get on the fucking water wagon with us. Yeah, we're not telling you that because we need more people on the water wagon. We're telling you that because it gets better up here. It really does. It takes a while. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's slow, but
I don't. Yeah. I can't ever imagine the worst day I've had in the last 3.5 years. And I know this sounds so cliche, but it's better than the best day I ever had drunk, and I say that because it's not an isolated incident. I can't think about like there was that one magical day that weekend on the river where we just drank Coors Light and floated and everything was beautiful and there were no problems, and that was amazing. And then the one time I was sober and everything went to shit, and so it's part of a whole package of your life. So for me, I think that I would never want to go back to that. I can't imagine a bad day where I want to go back to that life. And so it just continues to get better. Every single day, different things that are happening that I would not be able to have been a part of if I were still drinking.
Right.
I probably wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
I was
You
going
wouldn't
to say
be wearing that
I wouldn't be
sweater.
alive. No, I would not be wearing the sweater.
It's
But
a
I
nice
would
sweater.
I would
but
be
go
very
ahead.
sick, and I'd be sick and really tired and not well if I was still drinking.
Right. I don't know, man. It does. It does get better, and it's not like I can't guarantee anyone out there that you'll be happy forever. Like it's hard to. It's life. You can't be happy all the time.
Yeah.
But it does get better. It becomes more manageable, and isn't that better? Yeah. Is it going to be a fucking parade every day, and we're all eating ice cream every single day? Probably not. But I mean, life. You're not guaranteed that shit.
And don't
anyway.
do
You're not
that,
entitled
Jerry.
to those things.
I did
What?
that. I ate ice cream every day.
And look what happened. You had diarrhea all the fucking time.
It was. It's fine. It's fine if it keeps you from drinking. I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, it is not a sustainable long-term solution. Ice cream will not do it for you. I did it.
No.
Please. It's really bad.
Maybe walk while you're eating it. Just walk while you're eating ice cream.
You're only allowed to eat ice cream while you're walking.
Walking. So you just walk around the neighborhood with a bowl and a spoon, just going on your nightly walk. 2 miles. You'll eat that ice cream before the second mile. You just have to carry an empty bowl around like a dummy.
I'll just put the bowl on the side of the road.
Oh yeah, I'll get that on
Pick
the
it
way
on the way
back.
back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, you're not guaranteed happiness. But not even with drinking, you're not guaranteed happiness.
Yeah.
Not even with doing drugs, you're not guaranteed happiness. You can take fucking Xanax every fucking day, you won't be happy. You'll just be fucking conked out. But it gets better in that it becomes more manageable, and that is an improvement. Like it's either I don't know, you either get like the hut full of flies and roaches and scorpions, or you get the hut that just has flies in it. You know what I mean? I'd rather have the hut with the flies. This is a weird ass analogy, but like, it improves. It improves. Yes, it improves. Maybe, absolutely improves.
It
yes,
does.
dude. I would not be sitting here doing this podcast if it didn't improve.
No.
I'd be like, fuck that, fuck this.
Yeah, if I was angry all the time. I mean, I just got to
Yeah.
go down I was able to talk to an artist and an author and a great guy by the name of Mishka Shubali, and Jerry. It was on Jerry's on his Spotify playlist is one of his songs, and so this guy was. I got to see him perform. He sat down and did the podcast with me in his hotel room the next morning, and we talked about sobriety. And just basically we talked about the human condition and his journey, because he doesn't subscribe or prescribe to any particular program. He's very much he talks about doing it on self-will and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have been able to reach out to him. There would have been, if I was still drinking, I would be listening to his music alone in my room, something that he wrote 15 years ago, going, yeah, woo, and while I was singing some sad song and really not even, thinking about the hangover I was going to have the next day. And instead I got to go down there and sit with somebody and have a genuine, really cool interaction with somebody. And that wouldn't have been the case. I also wouldn't have had the money to get a hotel room to go and see this guy play and perform in a different town from where I live.
You wouldn't have had that money.
And thank you, Patreon patrons, for being a part of that as well. So that's part of what we get to do here. So better, yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Wow, we might say we're like NPR.
What's next, Jerry? What's the next one? What do you got?
I
got
don't
another-
have any more recovery ones.
You got
Those are the only
there's
ones.
one 3-parter. I got another one here.
Okay, what's the third part? Let's eat that meat.
This is from tell me the most unusual thing that has come from your sobriety.
That's a thinker, isn't it? Do you have an answer?
well,
it's like you
so-
dropped a stink bomb in the room. We both just got quiet as fuck because now we're thinking. It's not a bad question.
The
It's an
most
excellent question.
unusual thing, I think there are these moments, and a lot of people will call them God shots. And there these little epiphanies and coincidences and these little feelings and sparks from whether I was reading something about sobriety in some of the literature, or meeting with somebody, or just having an awesome day and going, wow, this is what it feels like to feel good, and being so just awestruck by it. And so
Yeah.
I don't get them all the time, and they don't happen very often. but they never happened when I was drinking or
Yeah.
drugging, you know.
That's a great answer. Yeah.
Like getting to go and sit down and do an interview with an author who I respect and admire. When the hell that was very unusual. I hope that it becomes more and more usual. I mean, that's the plan, but
Yes.
that was pretty amazing. I don't know, Jerry, what's the most unusual thing?
I was thinking, like, there's this I have this thing, it's like this duality. It's like this sense of these dual emotions, right? And in the past, I would get really conflicted. I didn't really have them. That was very shallow. Like, my emotions were pretty shallow. But I guess a good example of this dual emotion thing is, like, every day like every few days I'll drive to the little ATM by my house over at the Safeway, and I put money in, to pay bills. And there's a Safeway there, and then there's this bar right across from there called the Highlands. And I see all these people out there in front of the Highlands smoking and talking loud and hollering, and I can hear the shitty Kid Rock coming out of the open door, or Yellow Wolf or whatever. And I have this dual feeling where I feel this empathy and I feel sad. Like, I feel this, like, kind of sadness, like, wow, man. And I'm not saying they're all alcoholics. I'm just saying, just in general, I look at that dark, stanky bar and I'm like, wow, that's fucking sad, Like, it's such a beautiful day and you're out there getting fucking loaded. And then there's this other feeling that I'm like, carry on, lone soldier. Like, it's so weird, man. I feel this kinship still with the active alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And I also feel an empathy. And it's not like I feel sorry for a motherfucker that they're pathetic. I just feel like I've been in the shit with them. So it's really weird. Like, I'll see a drunk ass homeless dude stumbling around, blackout, and I, like, feel a kinship to him. I feel like he and I are cut from a similar cloth. And I'm always like, good job, wayward soldier. Like, hope you make it somewhere where you can fall asleep safely, Like, so that's very unusual. Because usually back in the day, I'd see a bum and be like, get the fuck out of the way, Like, no, I got nothing for you, Or I'd see people in front of a bar and be like, I want to be in that bar. And now I see the bar and I'm like, I absolutely don't really want to be there. But they can do that for me, I guess, until they're ready to not do that anymore. That's how I feel like they're doing it for me. Is that weird?
No, I mean, I think that's fine. I think that's a great way to think about it, because let them do it for you so you don't have to.
Exactly. That's why I'm always like, carry on, drink some water. Drink some water, damn it. You're going to regret it tomorrow. Drink a little water.
Yeah, and I think that we all live in this duality of drinking and not drinking. We've lived these two separate lives, and they're very vastly different. So, yeah, I don't see I think it's always going to be that way. For me. How has your view of yourself changed?
I like me now, dude. You know what's really funny, and it may have to do with the weight loss too and the working out. But, like, I like get out of the shower and I look at myself in the mirror, no clothes on. I'm like, dang, dog, you look good. I like you, dude. Like, you're cool. I'm like, you're a sexy dude. You look good. I like you. But not even just physically. Like, I like myself now. And I can be really self-aware now and understand that, like, that's really unusual too. Well, I've always been self-aware, but to a fault, like, where I wouldn't be able to do anything because I was self-conscious. And now I'm more like, which ties in the fourth step. I'm like, I'm doing this because of this, and I need to take a step back. But I really like myself. I'm almost ready to love myself. Almost. That's corny, but it's true. It's true, though. It's absolutely true.
I think it's a testament to how long it takes and how slow it can go sometimes. And,
yes.
I wanted to ask you, too, about when you talk about having no shirt on and being like, I like you. You look good. I mean, that took you a long time to get there.
A year at least, yeah.
And so
a year.
A year of just... but you were sober for 3 years before you even thought about that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were, I mean, I guess I say this because I really hope that people understand that being in the process it's an every single fucking day thing. And, those moments where you're like, yeah, man, I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. I mean, there was a year's worth of work that went with that. A year's worth of making decisions and making choices for yourself and having boundaries and having a defined thing. I just don't eat that. I just don't drink that. That's just not who I am. Right. And that took a very long time and years. So to get to the point where you were willing to spend a year to get to the point you're at now.
Right. And I'm not denying myself anything. I'm just denying myself all of it. As far as the way I eat, you know. I mean, drinking, yes, there's absolute abstinence from drinking because I mean, you know, we have this thing in our head that makes us not stop. But like those disciplines, they're just disciplines, but they're disciplines I enjoy. That's the weird thing is I used to say I could never join the military because I have no discipline. And now, like, every day I'm like, I like myself because I'm like, wow, dude, you have a discipline now and you follow it. And I feel like when I don't follow through my discipline, like, I feel uncomfortable. Like, I'm like, oh, part of my day is missing.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So I feel like it's a real positive thing. And I see you doing it as well. And this isn't like the weight loss podcast or anything. It's just a matter of this daily maintenance. That's all it is.
It's the first time because a lot of what recovery, what it happens is it's all in your head. And so, I talked about this with Mishka on the podcast. It'll be coming out in probably a couple weeks, but about the drunk that you are, and he wrote it in his book about the drunk that you are in your head and the person you are, the drunk that you are to the world are two vastly different people. And trying to be, and a lot of people, when you go to apologize to them, I got this where they're like, yeah, you don't really have anything to apologize about. You're fine. And I was like, what? I thought I was a complete asshole. And so when you try to, when I try to put the two together, the person I am inside my head and the person I'm becoming, and then realize the person outside, for me, the weight loss was the first time where I could see the physical, it's like a physical manifestation of the work that I put in.
Word. And
so I think, and that took however long that took years and years to get to even a point where, and I'm not happy yet. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happier than I was 6 months ago, but I'm really looking forward to, you know.
Have you been doing this for 6 months now?
Yeah.
Or has it been longer?
6 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but to me, it's a physical manifestation of the work that I put in every single day. So although I don't always see it when I look in the mirror, I don't always see it, you know, the recovery part of it in my head, this is a part of it. And for anybody who wants it, and that's the thing, do you want it? I didn't want it for a long time. I was fine to be like, well, I'm just sober and I'll deal with the other shit, you know, and then you start to want it.
You gotta like, don't do it all at once. We've said that before. Like you said, do you want it? Yeah. And you were sober at the time and you had to maintain everything in a step. It's not like you can, you take a fucking foreclosed home that's been gutted out. You don't just fix it all in a day, man. You got to like go through and fix the foundation and then reframe the walls. And it's a process. And even at the end of this process, I can't speak for John, but I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking to make myself feel better. And once again, I don't have to be happy all the time. I just have to be content, or at least understand that when I'm in pain and unhappy, this is part of the learning process. Because I've been listening to this audiobook called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and for some reason that's swaying all my answers today. But it's true though, the whole pain and the whole discomfort and the unhappiness, that's part of the process. That's your body learning. You're learning, man. I mean, that's how you learn to not touch a hot stove, is because it burns. So and don't touch that no more. You learned a lesson.
And who the hell am I to judge whether or not a situation or an experience is good or bad for me? I don't get to know that.
No, not till you do it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but I mean, I just mean, like you said, if you're having a bad experience, what am I being taught here? What is the learning experience, right?
Yeah.
Because I go, oh gosh, this is terrible, and then. Or, you know, when you, like those times where you get stuck in traffic and you're late for something and then you realize, well, if I'd been on time, if I'd left right on time, I would have been in that accident instead of being late and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I feel like I don't get to know about that stuff until later. And then I go, oh, geez, that's why I missed this or didn't get what I wanted.
Right.
You know, because I didn't get the job I wanted, then that means that I got the job that I needed or that I thought that I wanted, and whatever. So do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's none of my business. I don't get to know that.
Yeah. No, you don't.
And I think that's...
You don't. Fuck you, man. No.
One of that comes to the third part of this question was, what strategies or coping mechanisms have you found, stumbled upon, or hit you like a ton of bricks? And I would just say the one thing that I've learned The biggest thing that I've learned is acceptance, and we've discussed this one before, because I think everything else in recovery for me has revolved around accepting things.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether I'm accepting
Right.
myself as I am now, or accepting the pain that I have to go through, or accepting the learning experience that I'm just really fucking tired of learning about. But, because we have those days
Yeah.
too, where you're like, God,
Yeah. Oh,
does
yeah.
everything have to be a
Yeah.
goddamn learning
Oh,
experience?
yeah. I would say I don't know if we're I would say we're not the greatest face of recovery, but like it's not like we're John and I walking around smiling all fucking day long like everything's great,
No. But
you know what it was for me, dude? It was letting go and letting go of control.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. That was my that was that ton of bricks moment where I realized the first time I let go of control and walked away and I couldn't micromanage what was happening to me or around me, and I could walk away from it and then be okay with it. That's when I was like, wow, I'm growing. Holy shit, I'm growing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to.
Yeah.
And I still micromanage everything. Megan said I was the helicopter dog dad. Because we're at the dog park and my dog's acting like a dick to everybody. And I'm like, yo, stop being a dick. And every time he'd bark at another dog, I'd like get up, like, Coco, chill. And Megan's like, dude, you're being a helicopter dad. But instead of Olive, it's the dog now, like, and I'm like, I'm the fucking king of the dog park. You don't know. I run this shit. But I don't. And I need to let that shit go. So I just like, in my brain, I just pictured myself with two hands just letting it go. And then I felt much better.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I'm growing up, man. Damn.
It's all grown up.
All grown up.
Jerry, when should I practice a 13th step appropriately?
I don't even, is there ever an appropriate time?
Can you explain what a 13th step is roughly for
So
people?
in the program, the 13th step is a slang term for having sex with another member of the program who's a newcomer. It's kind of fucked up, actually. I mean, the question's kind of funny. I understand the humor in it, but the idea of a 13th step is kind of fucked up in that it's like taking advantage of someone who isn't emotionally ready to even go through any shit like that right now. But I would say if you're gonna 13 step anyone, just 13 step yourself. Like if you're a man, go get a fleshlight and then 13 step that fleshlight. You can even draw a little 12 step symbol on the top of it and bang that. And if you're a lady, well, I don't know, get one of those back massagers that they advertise in the
13 step
magazines. 13 step that. Yeah, don't be messing around with no newcomers yet. This is just my opinion. If someone's new to recovery, like, I don't know, man. I just feel
It's
like
not what
that's
they
taking
need.
advantage of someone. Yeah, they don't need it. But this is just my opinion. But you're gonna 13 step someone, do it to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only appropriate way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And stop being gross. It's not funny. Don't be gross.
Don't be gross.
Don't be a cochino.
Don't be dirty. But yeah, I think that, they also say one of the things is, don't get into a relationship within the first year of your sobriety.
Well, that shit is wild, right?
Right,
But I was
yeah.
already married, so.
But everybody, and I don't say everybody, but I hear often people who do it all the time, people who meet in recovery, and people who get married, and people who have kids in recovery, and
Yeah.
so you never know. And again, you can't tell you can tell an alcoholic, but you can't tell him much.
Right. Yeah. That
So-
needs to go on a fucking coat of pot holder. Anyway,
A pot holder,
I don't know.
and put it on a satin jacket.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, I think that's. I don't think there's any there's nothing appropriate about it. I mean, when you're a newcomer in recovery, the last thing you want to do is think about being in a relationship or dealing, because, sex might be something that's also part of what you need to recover from.
Right. Right.
And that's a
Dude,
whole
this
nother can of
person
worms.
with like a few weeks or not even a month, not even a week, does not need old fucking beanbag Jimmy coming up and trying to fuck around with him, or old fucking biker Tony coming in with his fucked up ponytail.
Cream
like,
Cherry George.
Yeah, Cream Cherry George being like, hey, we'll go read the 12 and 12. No, dude, don't. I mean, the question, I understand it's funny, but don't be cochino.
And I think that, it's important that regardless of what kind of recovery program you're a part of, that it should be a place where people can come and they should be able to feel safe and comfortable and like they can get the support that they need. because it's a
Word.
really tough time. We all remember, and if we don't, we should, look back on it every once in a while. We all remember being there and how hard it was to say yes to those things that changed our lives. So.
And no one 13-stepped me, and I'm mad resentful about that. What am I, ugly? Am I fucking ugly? No, I ain't ugly no more, motherfucker. No, I'm still ugly. But yeah. Anyway.
How long does it take to fully recover, Jerry?
That's a great question. Probably, I imagine I'll be fully recovered when I die. Yeah, because then I don't have to deal with being an alcoholic anymore. I'll just be space dust or fucking... That's a great question, because they always ask me, Jerry, how long do you have to keep going to those meetings? Or how long do you have to, keep doing that stuff? And I'm like, I hopefully for the rest of my life. I may not go as much as I used to, but I still want to go. I want to be part of it. Now, recovery meetings don't have to be the same thing.
No.
But I think it's always a work in progress, right? If this is a great question, actually, because if you're fully recovered, does that mean you get to go back to drinking again? Or does that mean the obsession's completely lost? Or, I mean...
I don't know. I think that if you are, excuse me, if you are, like you said, you have these disciplines, but you have to practice them every single day. So
Right.
if you go, well, I've practiced my disciplines for 6,700 days, then now I'm ready to not be disciplined anymore. That's not
Right.
because the satisfaction and the pleasure and the happiness that you get from those disciplines is what you're working toward every single day. So
Right.
are you fully recovered? And that, I wouldn't get to go back when I figured it
Right.
all out. And then I
Right,
can,
like-
because I'll destroy everything that I've worked for.
Right. You don't graduate. You don't get a sash and a fucking pint of whiskey.
No.
And I understand some people do say they're fully recovered, and more power to
Cool.
them. Like, I have no issue with that. If you feel
Yeah.
like you've been fully recovered, but in my own personal opinion, I don't
Yeah.
think I'll ever be fully recovered. I think it will always be a process of recovery. It's like that Louis C.K. joke where he says, you just do this every day. That thing where your knee gets fucked up, and he's like,
Right.
well, I only got to do this for a week or two, and the doctor's like, no, you do this for the rest of your life.
the rest
so
of
you
your
feel
life.
okay. Yeah, so I can feel okay. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to have this discipline. I would like to. I would prefer to. We'll see what happens. I mean, hopefully.
So I think from both of us that I think the answer is it's entirely up to you. It's personal. I mean, whether or not you fully recovered,
Right.
it's however you define it. And also alcoholism, as far as I have been told by numerous people, including myself, is it's something you diagnose for yourself. So if you're fully
Right.
recovered, then you're fully recovered, man. Like,
Diagnose yourself fully recovered then. Congratulations.
but if we're being honest to ourselves, if we are being upfront about our problems and our issues and our desire to drink and our desire to stop drinking, then we know whether or not we have fully recovered. So I think it's a personal issue.
I was diagnosed as an alcoholic by two different doctors.
Well, yes, there's
Seriously, no, by a psychiatrist. He's like, you're a fucking alcoholic. I can't help you. Here's your money back. And then when I broke my leg, the doctor was the nurse. It was a nurse was taking all my intake information, asked me how much I drank, and I told her, and she's like, "Oh, so it's safe to say that you're an alcoholic then?" And I was like, "Yes, absolutely." So I guess she didn't diagnose me; she just assumed as much. And how dare she assume? I drank like a gentleman. Thank you.
a gentleman who
his own
fell out
leg.
the second story window and broke his leg
Jumped.
on a bush.
Jumped.
Oh,
Thank
jumped.
you. Let's.
You didn't.
I jumped.
Oh,
Thank you. And I
it was a
wasn't. I
choice.
wasn't sad. I wasn't sad. I was Batman, and I was the Knight. No one understands.
No, they don't. you,
The ambulance driver didn't understand. Nobody understood.
You made a choice to jump out that window.
Yes. Uh huh.
So
Would I do it again? No.
no,
Yeah.
I would do it all different
I would do it all
that
different.
night. Yes. What you got? You got another question in there? I think we're almost.
Yeah. So these are. I mean, I don't have any more recovery ones.
Okay.
I have. Hey Jerry, did you watch the new Twin Peaks? Wasn't that ending crazy?
I haven't seen it.
No, I
I'm
haven't
sure it
either.
was
I watched
crazy.
the first episode, and it was like 2 hours long. And then I don't know. I just haven't caught up yet. I'd like to though, because I love Twin Peaks. It's one of my favorite things.
You know what? Speaking of Twin Peaks, I've been trying to teach myself how to speak backwards.
Are you serious? This is what you're doing with your fucking recovery time? It's not even recovery, just your time in life. Fuck the recovery thing. You're just sitting in your kitchen.
Writing. So I've been seriously. Look, I'm writing like the words backwards so I can read them.
Wow. Are you recording it and then playing it to see if
I'm working on
Yeah.
it so I could do like, the chewing gum you love is coming back into style. Or...
I am the arm. Yeah, the Formica. Yeah. I'm glad everybody's got to have a hobby, man. So that's yours. Okay, and the second one was, hey Jerry, are you a Beyonce guy, or would you say you're more of a Solange fan? And I would say, I've never heard a Solange song in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Beyonce. I liked Crazy Right Now, and then that new thing she did with all the different video, Lemonade or something.
Mm-hmm.
The one where she's basically like, "Yo, Jay-Z cheated on me. Fuck that dude."
Mm-hmm.
But I'd have to say, if I had to choose between the two, I'd go with Sharon Jones. And I'm glad you like the joke. It doesn't work on a podcast. I can't hear everyone.
You can't
laugh.
hear the applause that you need, that you desperately need.
Listen
the
listen
laughter.
to Sharon Jones, dude. She was dope, dude.
You should do a cover band called the Sharon Jonestown Massacre.
Massacre. Oh, it's not. It's too soon, man. She died, man.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
It's still a great name, though.
Right?
But,
that's what I thought.
But there was already one called the Brian Jonestown Massacre.
But that's why it would be funny. I don't know. Anyhow, so I almost got to see Solange.
Or Solange? Solange.
So I wish I would have gotten Solange, I think is how you pronounce it. We got tickets.
Yeah.
My girlfriend I think she got them free. And so we were at the Berkeley Bowl, which is a place in California that's an outdoor amphitheater. And if you've ever been to an outdoor amphitheater, it's just a bunch of steps, big steps, concrete, all that stuff. So we file in, we're waiting in line. I still don't know who I'm going to see. And we got to Flying Lotus opened for her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And if you've ever seen Flying Lotus or you're aware of him, he does a lot of the music for Adult Swim. All their little...
Yeah. This was that Flying Lotus show was Beyonce?
It was Solange.
Solange, oh.
So...
the fuck, that fucking name. I just feel like it's like cucumber sandwiches. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Anyhow, Flying Lotus was awesome. And then these people were smoking so much weed like down below in front of us. And I don't want to harsh anybody's good time, but like it was getting out of control. Like it was becoming the weed section. And I sound like such an old sober dude, but I was finally like, can we just go? I said to my girlfriend, and she's like, yeah, it was just too much. Like I wasn't going to go.
You were starting to feel high and uncomfortably like, shit, I need to call my sponsor.
Well, I also didn't want to like tap them on the shoulder and be like, excuse me.
I'm allergic to marijuana. The smell of marijuana.
As I'm at a Flying Lotus show in Berkeley, California.
You fucking square. Hit the bricks, dude.
So we did. We hit the bricks.
Right, exactly.
And we were leaving, and somebody who worked there asked us if everything was okay. We were just leaving. We weren't going to say a word to anybody. No complaints. Just get out of there. And so my girlfriend explained exactly what happened. And the guy was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm the manager of the Berkeley Bowl, blah, blah, blah. Give me your email, and here's my card, and we'll get you to a free show for one of our other shows. And so we still have 2 free tickets to whatever promotional, promo show. So, what do you call them? People who put on shows? Promoters?
Promoters,
whatever anyhow. So that was my Solange.
You gonna go see Steve Martin and his banjo and Martin Short? Because there's no weed at that, I guarantee. It's in the parking lot. Or it's all edibles.
Yeah, it's all edibles.
It's all CBD and edibles. Yeah, because those people are old AF, as the kids say.
What's next? Is that the end of the...
The last one was, hey, Jerry, what about them Thrones?
Okay,
I'm a Game of Thrones reference.
Yeah.
You watch Game of Thrones?
I haven't seen any of them yet. I'm gonna...
At all? Not from the first one ever?
No. I just not the last season.
Oh. Last season.
So there's like 3, right? There's 3 in this.
Yeah. So
I haven't watched
it's
any
safe
of
to
them.
say there's more than 3 seasons now.
No, but this is 8 season. I'm talking about episodes. There's like 3 or 4.
Oh, it's 3
right?
episos. Yeah. But you're a fan. You enjoy it.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I like it too, but I don't believe the hype. I have a hard time with the hype. I'm not gonna run around being like, fuck it. I can't. I'm so contrary. I can't handle any hype. Like this new Avengers movie, I don't give a fuck. But I do give a fuck. But I have to have this cool contrary shit where I'm like, I'm sick of fucking comic book movies. Because I am literally sick of comic book movies. But what? Not every day is going to be like a movie Jerry likes. So
but you probably wish that your daughter was more into the Marvel movies so you could put the onus on her to go take her to go see it.
Word.
And still
exactly.
see it.
But I just sit with the rest of the guys at the tattoo shop and be like, what about that Spider-Man though? Like, I don't fucking... what about that Captain America, you guys? I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't fucking. I want to watch it, absolutely, but I'm not gonna go to the theater.
Do
I'll
you
just
think?
find it
What do
later.
you think about like what kind of recovery programs you think are going on in Westeros?
I don't know if there's any at all, right? I think the recovery programs, you get the pox and fucking die or something, or you get like that stone skin and that's it. You might as
yeah.
well, you know. But I mean, I love the show. I think it's fun. I'm gonna probably watch it after we're done with this podcast.
Yeah, I
but,
gotta
yeah, because
catch
Megan
up.
wants to watch it. But I have a hard time with the hype. Like it's
I hear you.
it makes my fucking soul hurt. The
Yeah.
punk rocker in me is like, everybody shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't help it.
But I
Yeah.
gave HBO $15 this month so I could watch this stuff.
Me too.
I've
I
been-
think it's a great show. I love that it tears away all the things you love. The contrarian in me loves that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you think this person's going to be good? We're going to kill them. Oh, and by the way, hey, super ultra masculine dudes watching this for the dragons and kick-assedness, we're going to show you a bunch of dicks. Enjoy the dicks. So I love that shit. I love when a wild dick just flies out. I do. I'm like, fuck yeah, dick. That's hilarious.
Thanks again for listening. Our music, as always, is by Neglect. You can find more of his stuff at neglect.bandcamp.com.
And you can find us on all social media platforms that matter. Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can reach us at aisforalcoholic@gmail.com.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.